everyone, myself Dr. M. Kumar. In this session, I will be discussing about selections and iteration statements, control statements, and in the control statement, conditional control statements. In C++, selection and iteration statements are fundamental control flow mechanisms that dedicate the order in which program code is executed. Selection statement. The selection statement allows a program to choose which block of code to execute based on whether a specified condition is true or false. Hence, it is also called as conditional statements. Iteration statements. Iteration statements, also known as loops, allow a block of code to be executed repeatedly until a certain condition is met. Sequential control statement. Sequential control statement ensures that the instructions are executed in the same order in which they appear in the program. That is, by default, system execute the statement in the program in sequential order. The conditional control statements are the statements that are executed when a condition is true. Those statements are divided into three categories. They are decision making statements, switch case control statement, or loop control statement, or repetitive statements. Introduction to control structures. A program is nothing but the execution of a sequence of one or more instructions. Quite often, it is desirable to change the order of execution of statements based on certain conditions. This involves a kind of decision making to see whether a particular condition has occurred or not and direct the computer to execute certain statement accordingly. Based on application, it is necessary or essential to alter the flow of program or test the logical condition or control the flow of execution as per the selections. Those conditions can be placed in a program using decision-making statements. C++ support mainly three types of control statements. First is decision-making statement. In that decision-making statement, there are five different statements. That is if statement, if-else statement, nested if statement, else if state ladder, switch statement. In loop control statement, there are three statements, that is while loop, for loop, do while loop. In third one, unconditional control statement. In unconditional control statement, there are two statements, that is break statement and continue statement. Basic concept of decision statements. Decision making is critical to computer program. There will be many situations when you will be given two or more options and you will have to select an option based on the given conditions. For example, we want to print a remarkable remarks about a student based on secured marks. The following is the situation. Assume that assume given marks of X for a student. If given marks are more than 95, then student is brilliant. If given marks are less than 30, then student is poor. Proved. If student marks are less than 95 and more than 30, then the student is average. There are five types of decision making statements. Observe this slide. We have shown that in a flow chart. If statement, if else statement, nested if statement, else if ladder, switch statement. Now the question is how to write a program code to handle such a situation. C++ program provides conditional, that is decision making statement, which work based on the following flow diagram. The program will start working in a sequential order. Whenever the condition occurs, it checks for the condition. If the condition is true, then the condition code will be executed. When the condition is not true, the conditional statement will be skipped and the sequence order, next sequence statements will be executed. If statement. How to write an if statement or how to use an if statement in a program. Observe this flowchart carefully. This is basically a one-way direction statement. This is used when we have only a one alternative. For general syntax is like this: if expression, open bracket, statement, close the bracket. First, the expression is evaluated to true or false. If the expression is evaluated to true, then the statement 1 is executed. If the expression is evaluated to false, then the statement 1 is skipped, as shown in the flowchart. Here is a one demo program and if statement. How we will be writing the program in C++. First we have to write the hash include iostream.h, then void main. Let us open the bracket, so beginning the function, and integer n. N is a variable of a integer type. Cout, enter any non-zero integer, end line. Cin takes an input n. If n is greater than 0, cout number is positive number, end line. If n less than 0, count number is negative number. This n is greater than 0. If it is true means it prints the positive number. Otherwise it will does not print the number is positive. And if move for the sequential next, if n is less than 0, it print the negative number, otherwise it doesn't print. Like this is the way the program will be written for the if statement. If else statement, observe the flow chart carefully. In this if else statement, this is basically two-way decision making statement. This is used when we must choose two alternatives between the two alternatives. General syntax is like this: if expression, statement 1 is executed, else statement 2 is executed. So first the expression is evaluated. If it is true, go for the statement 1. If it is false, go for the statement 2. After execution the condition statements, the rest of the statement will be coded will be in a sequential order. Here is an example, a demo program to run the if-else statement. The same previous example itself we have considered. In this way we can write hash include iostream.h, void main, integer n, cout, enter any non-zero integers, end line. Cin n, if n is greater than 0, cout number is positive number, else number is negative numbers. So this is the way: if the n is greater than, it prints the positive number. If n is less than, so it will go for the negative. Only once the if statement will be written, and after we will use the else statement. This is called as a if else statement. The nested if statement. An if else statement within another if else statement is called nested if statement. This is used when an action has to be performed based on many decisions. Hence it is called as a multi-way decision statements. General syntax is like this: if expression 1, open bracket, if inside that expression 1, if it is true, go for the expression 2. If the expression 2 is also true, execute the statement 1, else execute the statement 2. So close the bracket. If expression 1 is false, then go for the else statement, open that bracket, and check for the condition if else expression 3. If expression 3 is true, then go for the statement 3, otherwise execute the statement 4. This is how we will writing the nested if statement. Carefully observe this flow chart, how data will be flow, or the flow of the data is done. So in the nested if statement, first go for the expression 1. If the true, then it shift for the left side. The expression 2 will be compared valid. If expression 2 is true, then statement 1 is executed, and it will be come out of the loop, and it will run the rest of the code. If expression 2 is false, then it will be executed statement 2, and then rest of the statement will be executed. If the expression 1 is false, it doesn't come for the expression 2, it will be run the expression 3. So in the expression 3, if it is true, it is execute the statement 3. If it is, and rest of the code will be executed. If expression 3 is false, then it doesn't run the statement 3, it will execute the statement 4, and rest of the code will be executed. So if and only if there is a true two times, it will be statement 1 or statement 3 will be executed. Like this, the comparison will be evaluated and the statement will be executed. This type of statements are considered as a nesting of a statement, and this is the nested if statement. Here is the demo program for the nested if else. The program to select and print the largest of given three numbers using else if else statements. Hash include IO stream.h void main. Integer a, comma b, comma c. A, b, c are the variables of an integer type. Cout enter three values. Cin A, B, C. A, B, C are the read by the computer. Cin is the reading the input data. Then Cout largest number is, if A greater than B, open bracket, if A is greater than C, if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, then you can decide that A is the largest. Else, the C will be the largest. Close bracket. If A is not the greater than B, then it move for the else statement, and in the else statement it will be checked again. If B is greater than C, then print as B, else print C as a greatest number. This is the way how the program will be run. Just carefully observe this slide. Then comes with the ladder statement, else if ladder statement. This is basically a multi-way decision statement. This is used when we must choose among many alternatives. General syntax is that if expression 1, then statement 1. Else if expression 2 is true, then go for the expression statement 2. If it is false, again you go for the else if statement expression 3. If it is false, means statement 3. Else if expression 4, the statement 4. Else default statement will be executed. So there is a multiple alternative things we need to be choose. The expressions are evaluated in order to top to bottom. If an expression is evaluated true, then statement associated with the expression is executed and control comes out of the entire else if ladder. Just observe this flowchart carefully. First, a program is running in a sequence. It enter for the expression 1. If statement 1 is true, then execute the statement 1 and rest of the statement will be executed. It comes. If it is a expression 1 is false, then it go for the eval for the expression 2, and expression 2 is true means it execute the statement 2 and it will be coming out of the if statements, and it runs the next statements. If expression 2 is also false, then only expression 3 will be executed. If expression 3 is true, then statement 3 is executed and it will be coming out, and the rest of the program code will be executed. If once again expression 3 is false, then it goes for the fourth. Like this, it go for the nth expressions, and if all the expression is false, then it work for the default statement, and after the default statement it come out and it will statement the statement nth statement, and next statement will be executed. This is called as a ladder type of if else statement. Here is a one demo program for the else if ladder statement. Hash include iostream.h void main integer n. Cout enter any integer. Cin n. If n greater than 0, cout number is positive. Else if n is less than 0, cout the number is negative. Else if n is equal to 0, cout number is 0. Else invalid input. So close the bracket. Here we are checking the number, given number. The possibilities of number is, you can check for the positive number, negative number and zero number, or it may not be a number is given. So there is a 4 multiple alternatives you are going to compare. Thank you.